Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name's Lumen and today we're having another look at Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon, this time for the 1.0 release. Step into the world of Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon, a mature first-person perspective open-world RPG that immerses you in a dark fantasy realm inspired by Arthurian legends. Uncover a complex and branching main storyline that lets you shape the legacy of King Arthur's reign 600 years after his fall amidst unending strife. The game is a love letter to open-world first-person perspective RPGs, and it has a character creation and customization system, which is why we are here. If you want a quick review of the changes and improvements, I will just say that overall it is looking so much better. This whole thing feels like the best kind of instant gratification because most of the stuff that I criticized in the demo version has been taken care of and fixed up and addressed, and the whole system has been polished up fantastically. I'm legitimately surprised by how well they have done with it. There's a bunch of new options. Overall, the visual fidelity has just been increased. It all just looks and feels so much better. So that's it. Watch the video, check all the new stuff out, and enjoy. If you'd like to do a deep dive to discover all there is to discover about Tainted Grail, you can find some links below. And while you're down there, you can also give this video a like and check my links out, including my Ko-fi page and my Twitch channel. There will also be timestamps. In this video, we're having a look at everything. All the changes and improvements that were made for the launch version of the game, and that also obviously includes a look at male customization, female customization, randomization, and then the pretty interesting class selection system that they have in place. With that said, however, let's begin. So as we jump in here, we'll just say, you can probably see it looks a lot better. The lighting system that they've implemented here in the character creator, the way that they've polished things up, it's super impressive. I'm going to talk about that as we go through, but right now, we begin with male. You can choose your gender, that's your first option, male or female, and then you got body condition. The body condition is basically just a muscular texture, I want to say, that you throw over your character. You can be normal or you can be muscular. It's probably the weakest point of the entire system. And it's kind of cool that we get that out of the way here because things just get better. And I again like to mention that I understand why indie devs especially don't want you to mess with the body too much because it messes with everything. It's like a cascading effect that ripples through the entirety of the game. Things get janky if you are allowed to move sliders around for body sizes. The models that they make for armor and stuff like that don't fit properly. There's a whole lot of stuff. So we understand when they do this. And the body shapes and stuff that they have for the characters, they look pretty great. So there's really no complaining. You can put muscular on, you can sort of look slightly more ripped if you'd like, or just normal. I'll be honest, for the most part, you're just going to be covering your character up anyway. Like within 20 seconds of starting your gameplay, you will have armor on, and you most likely won't see the body of your character again. So it's just for you anyway that you know what it looks like under there. Now for the skin colors, they have added quite a lot here. They've doubled the amount of options, and what they've done is they've basically smoothed out the curve here from the lighter tones to the darker tones, and I don't think it was necessary, but it's not necessarily a bad thing either. And then these two new options at the end here, I like these a lot because I believe with all the cool markings and body modifications that they have in here, and then all the nice and interesting colors that they have on things like the hair, it's really fun to have some slightly less traditional skin tones to mess around with. You can make your character look slightly more corrupted, a little more undeadish. There's just fun stuff you can do. I've already had a lot of fun with these two right here. They got the cooler tone and the warmer tone, and I'm a fan. I, once again, don't think it's necessary, but it is something that is sort of, it could be seen as grounded in reality as well, you know? There's no reason not to have a paler or less human-looking skin tone. So I'm a fan of the fact that they added that. Even though the warmer tones and stuff do look quite good, these ones allow for some extra customization within, let's just say, the confines of the system that they've got here. It's fun. Next up, the faces. There's a lot of new faces as well. I don't know if they needed a lot of new faces, but I'm not about to complain about the fact that there are a lot of new faces. I'm going to go through them like this once, and then I'm going to turn the face to the side a little bit so you can see just how much things move around. It's quite impressive. I mentioned the first time around that they must have a pretty significant set of sliders for this, because you can see a lot of stuff moving around. I mean, you see the forehead moving, the entire face, the nose, the ears, so much happening with the jaw. There's just a lot. And with the extra faces, I don't know how much it is, maybe 5 or 6 new ones that they've added here. I believe you are even more likely to find something that you want, even more likely to find something that works for you. There is a certain style that they went with for this, for the character's appearance overall, but I think it works. Yeah, so for the purposes of the video, there's a lot of good ones to pick from, but I'm just going to take the basic one. The eye colors are good. There's not much more to say about this. I like that they gave us some slightly out of the ordinary ones. You know, they are grounded in reality with a lot of what they have here, but definitely not the eye colors. And I like how bright they are. That's it. Nothing more to say. The eyebrows, they look better now because of the new lighting, I suppose. And then they removed that weird smudgy one that was here. There was sort of one over here that just had like a little smudge sort of angled upward, and it just looked weird. I don't know. It was not a very good looking eyebrow. It's gone now, and what they have is good. Not much more that needs to be said about that. The face details are also improved. They have a couple now that you can use to make your character look a little older, which I like, just to add a few extra lines on here. And then they also, along with the scars that they have here, which still look pretty good, they've added some makeup, as you can see, on the male characters, which, hey, man, why the heck not? Again, I say this with the hair all the time, but it's the same with the face details. Add everything that's on female to male, and vice versa. There's really just no reason to split it. There's also this option over here, which seems to smooth everything out quite a bit. It makes your character look younger, whereas this one makes it look older. It's nice. This is a good, in my opinion, a really good addition. So, big fan of that. Thumbs up. Once again, just improved everything quite a lot. Speaking of improvements, hair. New hair. Better hair. Better looking hair. They've just done well here. The hair in this game is, I would say, quite a nice balance as it stands, where they have a little bit of the physics run in here, but not so much that it would get janky, where they have a decent amount of detail with things like individual strands and texture work, but not too much that it would get too busy. I think they straddled a line that is not easily straddled here, and they did relatively well. And look, I think the main thing is probably just that they listened to what I was saying. And it's funny because they didn't actually listen to what I was saying. Okay, let me just make that clear. My video came out, and then a couple of hours later, I jumped into this launch version of the game, and what I was complaining about has been fixed. So I said, man, give more of the long styles to the dudes, and give more of the short styles to the ladies. And lo and behold, here we have it. They've done it. There are some more interesting styles here, some more creative styles, but then, for the most part, it's just that there's more variety. They have some nice longer styles now, and they have some of what I would say could be seen as more feminine styles on the male side, and definitely the same on female. And yeah, the hair just looks nice. I think that probably my favorite part of the entire hair system is how nicely the colors show. I mean, isn't that the best dark brown you've ever seen? It is. Don't answer that. It's phenomenal. The colors are just deep and rich, and they apply so well to the hair. Even these, you know, the lighter ones. And let's not even get started on the colors. Like the black is just wow. But like the colors over here. The only other game that I can remember recently looking as nice as this, specifically just with the colors, is Dragon Age the Veilguard. They had phenomenal colors in that game. Like legitimately some of the best of it. But that game just had the best hair. Hands down. There's no better hair than that in-game in right now. This, they've managed to do a similar thing, you know? And I think that the colors pop a lot more and they look a lot nicer because everything else is slightly less vibrant. You know, you have this washed out background right now. You have this grim and dark world. So when you throw this splash of color in there, my God, does it look good? You know? So we'll go back to the boring same old, same old. Or I mean, okay, let's be a little interesting. Let's take this beautiful brown that we have here, just because, and let's give this guy sort of like a spiffy little cut here. I don't know which one. It doesn't really matter. Let's go with that one, I suppose. Yeah. I usually go for the female characters, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm like a little lost here, I feel. Let's make the colors the same. There we go. Now, the beards, they actually look a lot better, and I'm not sure if they worked on the beards themselves, but they have a good selection here. There's a nice combination of the longer ones and shorter ones. And can I draw your attention to these ones specifically right here? They've done quite well with the connecting points, where they've got like a little bit of stubble now, a few more individual strands and stuff connecting them on the shorter styles, but on the longer ones, I feel like it doesn't look that great. It's specifically this one over here doesn't look amazing. The longest one, this actually looks alright. Yeah. Now, if you mess with your face textures, then you can make your face look a little rougher, and then the beard looks a little bit more natural. But I still think it could have been quite nice if they would have added a few stubbles. That's like the one thing. Overall, though, the beards definitely look better. I like the beards. I think that they look good, and especially in the game, yeah, thumbs up. They look nice. Beard colors are the same as the hair colors. Not much more to say about that. It's a good selection, and the color applies well. There you go. Now, moving on to the face tattoos. I do believe the face tattoos are the same. I don't think that there's anything new here. But we're still going to look at all of them. I really like these. It sort of reminds me of Night Elves. And then they've got a few, I would say, like style-wise, like heretical. And then they've got a few that are sort of somewhat tribal in nature. And then they've got some that I like to consider corrupted or sort of corruption-based, where it looks like it's sort of veins on your face. I dig that. But I like how messy the tattoos look. It's obviously intentionally messy. They look good. And again, with the colors and stuff like that, it applies so well. Especially when you go for these lighter ones, like these, on the darker skin tones. And I will show that to you. It's, you know, it's one of those things where you will definitely see it when we randomize. But look how bright and vibrant it looks when you throw that on there. It's pretty sick. So, yeah, the colors apply well, and overall it's just quite a treat to work with. There's just a lot you can do here. Body tattoos, same thing. Absolutely the same thing. There are 2 new body tattoos from the demo version to the launch version of the game, as far as I know. There might be one more. I don't know. Maybe it's 3 new ones. But, because I think this might be a new one. Or this one. But these 2 are definitely new. So that one and that one, these are definitely new. I'm just showing you the front. Now I'm going to turn around and show you the back. Great detail on the tattoos. It's often one of those things where I sort of disregard the tattoo and marking system entirely, just because oftentimes people just don't put too much effort into it, you know? So I'm like, you know, tattoos usually look bad, so I don't really care if these look bad. And that's not fair, because that takes away from the guys who actually put effort into it. So yeah, color-wise, these also apply quite well. It looks good. And I like it. Yeah. So it's nice. Your final option now is to enter your name, and they've moved the difficulty on to the next screen. We will look at that when we jump in to look at the classes and stuff like that. But that is that for male customization. We are going to move on to female now. There you go. Starting with the body condition. You can set it from normal to muscular. Depending on the skin color that you have, you can sort of see more or less of the muscles. If you set it a little darker, as an example, you can see the muscles a little better. I will mention here, however, I personally believe this is probably the weakest point of the character creation system, just because there's not much you can actually do with it. Understandable, but it needs to be said. Everything just gets better from here on out. It's just a texture that they put on your character's skin. You can see that the character doesn't get bigger or smaller, but I think it's enough. It's alright. I think it looks quite good. I'll probably go with muscular anyway, because I think it looks quite nice. In terms of the skin colors, they have added a few extra to smooth out the progression between the light and the dark. It's quite impressive, I think. There's basically double the amount of skin tones now. And then they've got these two ashen tones at the end here. I'll call it that. It's sort of like sickly / ashen. I don't know if there's a better way of explaining it. I love these, by the way. Like, these are probably my go-tos. Like, I would have gone for the palest one, or I would have gone for the cooler toned ashen one. Because it just allows for so much fun stuff. Like, you'll see when we randomize, there's just a lot that you can do with it, and I think it looks pretty impressive. Yeah. And I mean, like, the body overall, and like, let's just remove the skin color completely, but the body overall just looks so much nicer now with the new light in here. It's cool. So yeah, new skin tones, that's good. There's a lot of choices here. For the purposes of the video, we'll just go with something in the middle, and then we'll jump onto the faces. There's a lot of new faces. A lot. And I think on the female side of things, they have improved things a lot. They've added a few extra that I feel filled in some gaps that there were. Where they added one or two with more Asian eyes. They've added one or two with slightly bigger faces, which they didn't really have. And I feel they've added one or two that might look better if you make them slightly older with the facial details down here. Overall, they've again just smoothed out the curve a little bit, where they have a broader selection now that you can sort of mess around with, and you'll more easily be able to find what you're looking for. I believe they've also made a lot of them just look slightly more natural, because there were a few that looked a little strange. For whatever reason, with the proportions being a little out or a little off. I think they've done well. Like, it's just a little bit easier for me now to jump in here and say, hey, this one, that one, and that one look really good, and I'd easily be able to use them. You know? So, thumbs up. Very impressed. It looks incredibly good now. Like, this is a good selection of faces. Like, yeah, we would have liked sliders, but at the same time, I think that this, with the presets that they have here, and the sheer number of them, we're good to go. Eye color. Looking quite good. I actually, funny enough, had a very small issue with the eyes on the female characters in the previous version of the character creator, and that's also gone now, where it sort of looked a little bit too reflective. The eye colors look really nice. They're not totally grounded in reality, because you can have like red and pink and purple eyes here. But I think they look really good. And, you know, when you zoom all the way out, you can still quite clearly see the color. And I think that's always a good test. They look nice. Let's go with the yellow ones, just because. Eyebrows, they're looking pretty good here as well. Especially on the female faces, you can see the eyebrows a little better. They're a little more clear and defined. There's really nothing more to say about that. For the facial details, the females won big. There's a lot of new stuff here. The makeup that they added. Before, they only had these two for makeup, where they had a little eyeshadow and eyeliner and then a little more. Now, I feel the scars look better, and the extra makeup that they added offer a whole lot more customization. I mean, the scars, they are more defined, they are clearer, they just look more significant, and the way you want scars to look, sort of scary and gross. And that's great, I love that. But the new makeup specifically looks really nice. They've got this nice red one. I really enjoy when they do this one little line on the lip at the bottom as well. Then they have the black one, which is essential for any character creator. You need this. You gotta make the the goth girlfriend, you know? You gotta be able to do it. You have to. And then they have this interesting blue one that I've already actually used quite nicely. I made a red-headed character that has this nice blue on, and then the nice blue markings as well, and I thought it looked quite nice. I would have liked to have been able to throw the freckles and the blue markings on. That would have been cool. And then finally they have a slightly older looking texture for the face, where it's slightly more worn and slightly more wrinkles and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty cool. Good improvements here. Hair. This is also a big win. So you may remember, or you may not, because you might have just come here for the first time, but I mentioned that I thought that the females needed to get some of the shorter styles And they just needed a little bit more variety because the hairstyles were a little samey. Now, there are definitely a few extras here that round things out. I'm going to go through them twice. Don't worry if I didn't turn them. There's a couple of shorter styles now. They've added a very nice looking afro, because before they only had this one, but now they've got a nice afro here, which does look really good. And they've added a few longer styles that just mix things up. Overall, yeah, it's just a win. And a lot of this hair looks quite good with the physics system that they've got in here. Not too intense, but just enough to make it look satisfying. I will admit, and I will mention that I can see that this band has sort of disappeared a little bit under the hair, which I'm not a huge fan of, but for the rest of it, it all looks really good. Yeah. And I mean, this is some nice hair. They've done well with it. I think that they definitely leaned into something that works well in this system. They know that the hair looks good, so they went voluptuous with a lot of it. And hey man, you're not going to catch me complaining. I think it looks really nice. There you go. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now for the colors, there's a couple of extra colors here. Not a whole lot as far as I know, but it is just one of the strong points, I would say. The colors apply incredibly well. They are rich. They can be full of life, depending on which ones you pick. And, I mean, look at that. The vibrance, man. It just looks so good. I mentioned when I was customizing the male characters, I think the only other character creator that I've seen that has such nice colors is Dragon Age the Veil God. And that just had, like, by far the best hair in any video game. And, yeah, like, it's just really impressive. I think it just stands out so much more because of this dark and gritty world that we're in. So when you throw this nice splash of color onto your character, wow, you know, it just looks good. So I'm a big fan of the hair colors here. Moving on, however, the markings. I'm actually going to make the hair... Let's take the ponytail so that we can see the markings on the face a little better. There we go. This one will do. For the markings on the face, also super impressive. I love how good they look. I love the detail. And I just love the variety. You know, there's not a lot here, but I feel like it suits the game and the world that we jump into. And yeah, some of these I've already been able to use to great effect on characters that I've made. So I'm not about to complain. For the colors, they apply incredibly well, especially the lighter ones on darker skin tones. Very cool. I showed this off on the male side, so I'll do it here as well. But when you go for a darker skin tone, man, does it look good. Man, does it look good. When you throw these lighter ones on, I love it. I really do. So yeah, the colors, pretty cool. Good selection. And the same can be said for the body tattoos. There you go. And when you actually zoom in here, you will notice that it actually all looks so much better. Like, there's a lot of detail. You just can't really see it when you zoomed out all the way. They've added 2 or 3 new tattoos for the body tattoos here. The facial tattoos are the same. The body ones, this one is new. And this one is new. Definitely. Pretty nice. They look good. They absolutely look good. And the colors here are the same. They also look really good when you put them on the darker skin tones, but they are the same as the facial tattoos. So there you go. That does bring us to the end of the female customization. When you're done here, you'll enter your name, you'll choose your difficulty, and you will jump in. Now, on to what is probably my favorite part. Randomization. Brace. There's a lot of really cool stuff. There's just so many cool options that could be mixed together, so many cool combinations. Let's get started. You will see, especially when they have like the darker skin tones with the lighter tattoos and colors, the different hair style and color combinations. There's just a lot going on here. And it's a full randomize, you will notice. The beard and the hair on the males. That's one thing I think sometimes kind of messes with the randomization system, where it takes a lot from it. It makes it look like a bit of a clown fiesta when the hair's always a different color than the beard. But it is random, that's for sure. If I'd give them like one little tip, I'd say just make it sync up sort of like this. This is not exactly synced up, but it's close. It's really impressive though. You look at this and at first glance you think to yourself, it's not that many options. But then when you see all the different combinations popping up here, you realize it's not actually the case. There's a lot here. And I again feel like one of the strengths here is just how full of life your character can be in this world that seems to, from first glance, be so full of death. and it's really cool, man. I dig it. So yeah, a lot of nice options here. I specifically enjoy seeing the female characters and what they come up with, because there's just so much that you can do with them. With the faces, with the hairstyles, with the skin tones, and these two new skin tones that they added, phenomenal. Excellent. And obviously let's not even forget to mention the hair and the new hairstyles. It's pretty cool. So yeah, this gives you a pretty good look at what's available in the character creation system. If you were looking at like a quick and dirty preview of what's available and what you can do, this is it right here. This is it. Now, as we finish this up, as we get ready to move on, we are going to jump into the game itself. We're going to pick a character that we like. This one right here. She's perfect. No more needs to be said. We will call it Lumen, and then I'm going to show you how the difficulty selection looks now. You get to pick between Explorer, Adventurer, and Veteran. Explorer is for players who want to experience the story with minimal challenge. Enemies are forgiving and resources are plentiful. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey. Adventure is a balanced experience. Combat is fair but requires focus. Mistakes are punished but recovery is possible. Designed for experienced players. And then we have Veteran. That's a step up in difficulty. Enemies hit harder and show less mercy. Every resource counts, and this is for those who seek a serious challenge. We'll take Adventurer because that is what we are. And then we'll jump in. And now we're going to move on to the quote-unquote class selection. Without spoiling anything, you start in a prison cell. You are being interrogated, and this is how you select your starting point. The game works the same as Skyrim or Oblivion with the way you learn skills. So you learn by doing, and this just gives you a little boost in the direction you want to go. I will warn you right here at the start that when you are doing this, you cannot back out. So if I select, oh, I was hunting, once I click that, I can't unclick it. I can't go back and come back and say, oh, well, I was actually on my way to the army. No. So I think that that's a bit of an oversight, and they should allow you to back out and quote-unquote browse the options a little bit, because a lot of people are indecisive, and it kind of sucks having to Alt F4 or quit to the main menu or whatever just to be able to check the others out. So I had to come in here, I had to click this one, write everything down, click that one, write everything down separately. I had to quit, come back, quit, come back, quit, come back every time to see them all. It seems a little silly. That's another little piece of input I would give the devs if they happen to watch this. But it's just a warning as well. Now, when you jump in here, 4 archetypes basically that you can select between. Again, just starting points. When you select one, it gives you further choices to help you refine your choice, or at least your starting point further. Or you can just stay silent and you can choose to start with nothing as basically a blank slate. So for the army, one-handed +3, two-handed +3, blocking +3, heavy armor +3, and athletics +3. It's quite a nice selection right there. And if you go in there, then you'll be able to pick infantry, which gives you one-handed weapons, blocking, and heavy armor. It actually gives you more. It gives you 6 or 9 on those. It's sort of a much more focused selection. Then you can choose archers, which is one-handed, archery, and medium armor. Battle mages, which is one-handed, heavy armor, magic, and burning ember, which is a fire spell. And then finally you can select healers, which is light armor, magic, alchemy, and blood transfusion. That's sort of like a life drain spell. Then if you select hunting, this is actually a little different. This gives you archery, medium armor, athletics, evasion, and sneak. But then when you jump in, you will notice that it gives you some other stuff. It gives you a crafter, which is archery and handcrafting. It gives you a cook, which is athletics and cooking, and then it gives you an alchemist, which is athletics and alchemy. I don't know how useful all those things are going to be in the game, but it is interesting that they give you stuff like that. Then your next one is the thief or rogue archetype. This gives you one-handed, archery, light armor, agility, and sneak. And if you jump in there, it gives you ranged or archer, which is archery and evasion, or it gives you thief or sort of sneak-in, which gives you sneak-in, theft, and lockpicking. So that's sort of more like a pacifist style of play. Then your final option here, if you're not going to stay silent, is the magic option. You're basically choosing to be a druid of sorts. In that, you can choose either healing, which is alchemy, cooking, and blood transfusion as a spell, or mage, or magic, which is light armor, athletics, magic, and burning ember. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's a lot of different choices, but just know that you are only selecting the starting point. I've said that a bunch of times now, but I need to repeat that just to make sure you guys understand. Finally, there are full talent trees to discover when you jump into the game. They look awesome. There's just a whole lot there. But that does bring us to the end of this video. Alright, here in the outro I will just say that I love what they have on offer here. It's clearly inspired by Oblivion and Skyrim and other games like that, and that is a great thing. The starting sequence you play through is also excellent, and it serves as a great introduction to the game, and I love the way that you choose your starter class. I love when they give you these little pop quizzes, you know, when they actually put it in the dialogue, because, I mean, it's a memorable way of doing things. The visual fidelity and the overall quality in the character creation system is just a treat. And it all shows in the character creator now as well, with the launch version of the game and the improved lighting and the visual polish. It's all come together beautifully. The new skin tones, the faces, the hairstyles, and all the rest were unexpected, but most welcome, and they offer a whole lot more cool combinations. The weakest point is still the body customization, but it's not a big deal. I feel like there's more than enough to be done with the rest of your character to make something interesting and unique. I think overall they've just pretty much nailed it. Man, I'm keen to make my own character. So yeah, I like it. And I'm legitimately surprised by how much things have improved. But there you go. I'm done. Let me know if you guys have been playing, whether or not the game is for you, whether you've been having fun, whether you managed to make a character that you enjoy. Let me know. All of it. Yeah. And as always, you can give this video a like and share it and do all that other good stuff. You can find my links below as well. My coffee page and my Twitch channel and all the rest. And yeah. Enjoy Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon, my dudes. Happy that.